الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد Alhamdulillah we're still in the glorious and most beautiful Masjid Al-Aqsa, i.e. the very first Qibla for the Muslims, indeed the Qibla for all the 124,000 beautiful and blessed Prophets alayhi salatu wasalam. And we've been discussing the subject of character for the last few sessions. So now to specifically mention certain characteristics which will inshallah greatly benefit oneself. So first of all, in Tabarani in his Kabir, number 11,079, Tabarani in his Awsat, number 7,911, Al-Haythami in Majma' al-Zawaid, 8-193. Our beloved Messenger, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, verily the most beloved deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the obligatory is to simply please a Muslim. Subhanallah. Verily the most beloved deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the obligatory is to simply please a Muslim. Subhanallah, think about it. So you got the fard, those things that are obligations upon you. What is the next most beloved deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? To please a Muslim. You can please a Muslim even without spending a penny. So this is showing how valuable and weighty this is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Tabarani, Bayhaqi in his Shu'ab al-Iman, number 6,568, our beloved Messenger, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, showing affection for people is half of wisdom. Subhanallah. Showing affection for people is half of wisdom. Think about that. So what did the Prophet ﷺ say? If you have that characteristic that you show affection to people, you've got nisf ilm, you've got half of wisdom. Question, what if you have the opposite? You don't have affection for people. That means half of wisdom is lost. Showing again how valuable a deed this is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Abu Ya'la 3-452 Tabarani, our beloved Messenger said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, undoubtedly helping wounded people is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Undoubtedly helping wounded people is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when a person has got a problem or worry and you go out of your way, even in English, going out of your way, that is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So note the same characteristic the Prophet is highlighting from different angles, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In another report, showing how simple it is to secure forgiveness. In Al-Khara'ita, and it's Sahih, in As-Sahiha, number 1035, our beloved Messenger said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amongst the things that secure forgiveness is simply spreading salam and having good speech. Allahu Akbar. Amongst the things that secure forgiveness is simply spreading the salam and having good speech. Imagine, spreading salam, this is something simple, and having good speech. Just those two things, the Prophet said, secures your forgiveness. Both of those two things are related to other human beings. Don't have to go out of your way. Give salam, pleasant speech. Salam, pleasant speech. You've secured forgiveness. Sahih hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It benefits you in the grave. But how does it benefit you in the grave? In Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, Ibn Hibban, Sahih in As-Sahiha, number 1309, and Sahih al-Tarhib, number 3559. Paraphrasing. In the grave, the Prophet ﷺ said, Salat and the Quran recital stand at your head. I.e. they protect you from your head. Salat and the Quran recital. Fasting protects you on the right. Zakat protects you on the left. Sadaqah, dua, walking to Salat. Then look what the Prophet ﷺ said. And rendering good and benevolence to people appear by his feet. So let's look at this report. Sahih hadith. Why do we need protection in the grave? Because Munkar and Nakir alayhi salatu wasalam come to interrogate you, and they do not come in a pleasant appearance. They have a fixed appearance for the good and the bad, and it's frightening. They have thunderous voices, their body is black and blue, they have fangs that can rip open the earth, Their eyes are like brilliant stars. Hair is like snakes, etc., etc. When they're asking questions, their talk is like thunder. In Imam Ahmad's Musnad, you need all the protection you can get. You have a force field around you. This is the best way to describe it. Where is the defense? Towards your head, Quran recited. Look at the greatness of the Quran. Not memorization, just to recite the Quran will protect you from the head side, and salah. Fasting on the right, zakat on the left. And then what did the Prophet ﷺ say? Sadaqah, dua, walking to salat, and rendering good and benevolence to people appear at his feet. So let's look at this. What protects you from your feet? Sadaqah, dua. Imagine, even dua is a deed that Allah Ta'ala uses to protect you in the grave from your feet. Walking to salat, which is something you don't even think about. But the relevant part, rendering good and benevolence to people appear by his feet. You are protected in the grave. If you just show kindness to people, and we will all ultimately enter the grave. This is why the report says in Ibn al-Najjar 5-126, Sahih al-Jami, number 176, the Prophet ﷺ said, if one helps his brother in need, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make his feet firm on the day during which even the mountains will perish. Subhanallah. If one helps his brother in need, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make his feet firm on the day during which even mountains will perish. Now is the day of judgment. On the day of judgment, what happens to the mountains? They perish. The earth is flattened. One report says made of silver. There is no rivers, this trees all gone, wiped away by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the Prophet said, Sahih Hadith, if you help your brother in need, Allah Ta'ala promises that He will make your feet firm on that day on which even mountains perish. Now He's helping you on the day of judgment, helping you in the grave, securing your forgiveness, making you firm on the day. All the same deed. What deed? To please a Muslim. Think about that. Look how great that deed is in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another report, in Bayhaqi, in Shu'ab al-Iman, Ad-Diya as-Sahiha, number 1217, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever helps his brother in secret, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help him in this world and the next. Subhanallah. Whoever helps his brother in secret, condition, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help him in this world and the next. How do you help your brother in secret? You know if there's a problem, he needs something doing. So you go out of your way, you fulfill that need, he doesn't know about it. How great a deed is that? Now more reward is given. Allah Ta'ala helps you first in this world, which isn't that important, and the next. Now what is the Prophet really telling you here? You should be so concerned about your brothers, to note when they're in need. But don't go over to them, you brother, you need some help. Now you've lost that virtue. Look how beautiful our deen is. It's encouraging you not to bring that to the notice of your brothers and sisters. You're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it has a special sweetness. Why? Because if you do a deed sincerely, there's sweetness in it. Now note, the previous report, you fulfill your need, it could be open. Allah Ta'ala helps you on the day of judgment. If you do it in secret, Sahih Hadith, Allah Ta'ala helps you in the world and the next. Don't you want the divine help? Which one of us doesn't want divine help in this world? You can actually say, Ya Allah, help this servant in secret. You promise help. That's knowledge in your dua. On the day of judgment, He will help you. As if, dunya is important to us, but He helps you if you fulfill this deed. In another report, it mentions, now think about this, you have to reflect. In Tabarani, in his Awsat, number 7326, Bayhaqi in his Shu'ab al-Iman, number 3965, Al-Haythami in Majma' al-Zawaid 8-192, Hasan. The Prophet ﷺ said, traveling to attend to any brother's need is better than 10 years i'tiqaf. 1 day of i'tiqaf for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah the Almighty creates a distance of 3 trenches between His servant and the hellfire. And between each trench, their stance, their distance is more than what is between the east and the west. SubhanAllah. So let's break this down. First, is it authentic? Yes. Authentic hadith in Tabarani. You've traveled now, another condition, traveled. Now what does that mean? It means you can walk, or you go out of your way again to help a brother. It's better than 10 years itikaf. So a person goes, not equal, better. 10 years itikaf. You know what itikaf is? And I've got better than that from fulfilling a need. Then the Prophet explained the reward for itikaf. 1 day of itikaf, but not the condition. Biwajhillah, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for anybody else. You are distance between the hellfire 3 trenches. Between each trench, there is the distance more than between the east and the west. Let me ask you a question. What does that mean? There's more distance between the east and the west. Even in English, what does that mean? East and west don't come together. It's more than that. 3 trenches. Now that's 1 day of itikaf. What if somebody goes to you, right, how many days in 10 years? So a person goes 3,550. Times that by 3,550. Times what? 3 trenches. That's 10,000 trenches. More than 10,000 trenches distance between the east and the west are placed between you and the hellfire for what? Traveling to attend to any brother's need. Where are the virtues? Think about that. What's the Prophet telling you here? If you have understanding, the virtues is in khidmat, is serving others, right? You think really there's no other deeds like this. In another report, look at this report, amazing. In Tabarani in his Kabir, number 13,646, Tabarani in his Awsat, number 6,026, Al-Haythami in Majma' al-Zawaid, 8-191, As-Sahiha, number 906. The Prophet ﷺ said, attending to the need of a Muslim brother is more beloved to me than itikaf in my masjid, meaning the Masjid of Al-Madinah for 1 month. Imagine somebody comes back and he says, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Brother, what's happened? What's the good news? Alhamdulillah. Allah Ta'ala gave me the tawfiq to do itikaf in Masjid al-Nabi. So you go, oh, Allahu Akbar, brother, for 1 month. You're thinking, 1 month? Yes. Then you say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Why are you saying this, brother? I fulfilled the need of a Muslim brother. Be honest. Which one impresses you? The one who gets more reward is the one, the Prophet said, is more beloved to me, is the one who attends to the need of his brother. It's more beloved to me than itikaf for 1 month in my masjid. But what did he say? More. It's not equal. What does that mean? Everything in Masjid al-Nabi multiplies more than 1,000 times. It's more than that. 1,000 months. It is better than 1,000 months of itikaf. And what are you doing? Fulfilling need. Now what does it mean, fulfilling need? Does it mean you have to give your life? Somebody goes, what do you do? Oh, I got his SIM card for him. We talk about it as if it's a small thing. Oh, brother, you know what you've just done? What? Computer fail ho gaya. He goes, what do you mean computer fail ho gaya? You don't even realize these deeds are so priceless. What did you do? Oh, I got his breakfast. Right? Fulfilling needs. Right? Look how simple. And the Prophet is telling you again and again. Now, to sum up this, there's another blessing. And this is also crucial for this. In Bayhaqi, Ibn Asakir, it's Sahih, in Sahih ul-Jami, number 3760, the Prophet ﷺ said, doing good to people protects one from evil fatalities. Doing good to people protects one from evil fatalities, a bad end. If somebody goes to you, brother, I'm really worried, what's up, brother, why are you worried? I don't know if I'm going to die in a good state. I haven't got a guarantee. Which one of us has got a guarantee? You might be living a righteous life and you die in a bad state. Allah Ta'ala protects one from dying in a bad state if you do good to the people. So all of these reports, flawless reports of the Prophet ﷺ. What does it simply mean? When you have pleasant speech, you spread the salam, you fulfill needs of your brothers, it means Jannah. That's what it means. Guaranteed assistance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guaranteed help in the grave. Guaranteed help on the day of judgment. Guaranteed help across the bridge of Sirat. Guarantee of the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guaranteed to die with Iman. All of that is unlocked by pleasing a brother. Think about that. Now there's one particular deed I want to stress, and that is giving them food. Now think about that. How great a deed is this? In Daylami, Bayhaqi, in Shu'ab al-Iman, Sahih al-Jami, number 1096, and As-Sahiha, number 1494. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best of deeds is that of keeping your believing brother happy, or paying a debt off of his, or that of feeding him. Look at this amazing report. Somebody goes, what's the best of deeds? Sahih hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Number one, keeping your believing brother happy. You see him a bit sad, and that's your intention. I'm going to make him happy. That's the best of deeds, the Prophet ﷺ said. Doesn't cost a penny. Number two, paying a debt of his. He's in debt, and you sort it out. Best of deeds. What's the third thing the Prophet mentioned? Feeding him. No condition. Right? Feeding him. The Prophet goes, the best of deeds. Not normal deed, the best of deeds. In another report, in Tabarani in his Awsat, number 6518, Hakim in his Mustadrak, number 7172, Daylami in his Musnad al-Firdaus, number 5807, Bayhaqi in his Shu'ab al-Iman, number 3368, Al-Haythami in Majma' al-Zawaid 3-130. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever feeds his brother simply bread until he is satisfied and gives him drink until he is quenched, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will distance him from the fire by 7 trenches. The distance of one trench to the other is 500 years. Look at these reports. You say in English, too good to be true, brother. That's too good to be true. It's not. The one who never spoke a lie is telling you this. The one who's been inspired by Allah the Almighty is telling you this. The one who's incapable of making a mistake is telling you this. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What does he say? Give now a condition. You eat until he's happy. So a person goes, brother, I can't eat anymore. You give him drink, because I can't drink anymore. Then you should be doing handstands. Brother, what are you doing handstands for? You say, because the Prophet ﷺ said, you are distanced from the fire 7 trenches. And the distance of one trench to the other is 500 years. 3,500 years you've distanced yourself from the fire just for food and drink. What a gift to pass to the dead. Which people say, oh brother, where did you get this from? There's khatam business, khatam. Say, brother, you keep saying khatam. I'm going to keep doing my khatam. You can call it whatever you want. If Allah Ta'ala has given this reward, surely He will give it to the one whose intention you're doing it for. Think about that. How easy is it to do it? Somebody goes, what do you need to do, brother? Well, I don't know. Even poppadoms fill a person up, brother. And even water. How much does that cost? You don't need to go out of your way, buy caviar. Right? Think about that, right? So even if it was caviar, wouldn't you go out your way to do it, to get these rewards? Another report. Now this is something that's interesting. In Bayhaqi in his Sunan 4-185, Ibn Hibban in his Al-Majruhin 2-76, Ibn Adi in his Al-Kamil 5-126, the Prophet ﷺ said, any man who craves a desire and then suppresses that desire, preferring to give it to another than himself, then he is forgiven. Subhanallah. Any man who craves a desire and then suppresses that desire, preferring to give it to other than himself, shall then be forgiven. So let's give you an example of this. Ramadan. You're fasting and you see the dates, and there's always one outstanding day you notice, so you put it towards yourself. But then you thought, no, I'm going to give it to my brother. You swap it without him noticing. What have you done? You preferred somebody over yourself. The Prophet ﷺ said, you are forgiven. Now this takes wisdom. Why? Because this is easily done at the beginning of the meal. For example, you're about to eat. You're having a pizza, let's say, and you see a juicy slice. You take it, you give it to your brother, and in your heart you're thinking, I needed that slice, I'm hungry. Oh Ya Allah, I want to be forgiven. You're forgiven. The disaster is lack of knowledge. Why? You start eating the pizza, you get full. Then you start offering it. Right? You know it's right. He goes, brother, you should, oh, brother, please take this. Well, you don't desire it now. Why didn't you give it at the beginning? It takes wisdom, right? Right at the beginning. Brother, here, no, you eat it. It's good, mashallah, brother. I'm very happy you've ate it. Why do you think the Sahaba did this? One of the companions was ill, Abdullah ibn Umar, because I desire fish. So they looked all over to find, they found some fish eventually. When they came back with the fish, a beggar's at the door in Abu Nu'aym al-Hilya. They've cooked the fish, the beggar comes in. So Abdullah ibn Umar goes, give him the fish. So they thought, we've got a way to get this. Right? So they went to the beggar, listen, look, here's some money on your way. He takes the money, he goes. Ibn Umar then, the said, did you do what I told you to do? They goes, well, we give him something better. He goes, no, you didn't. He goes, go and call him back. Second time it happened, but the beggar was a bit this. He actually came back again begging. Right? So then they gave him some more money. He comes back again a third time. Eventually, only when they gave him money for the third time, that Ibn Umar ate the fish. But he only ate the fish when he thought that the beggar was satisfied. Why was he wanting to give fish? Because in another report he says, I desire fish. He said that in one report it was grapes. I desire. Why did he mention that? Because he's a Sahaba. I desire. Why did he say I desired it? Because if you desired it, the Prophet said you're forgiven if you give it away. You're preferring somebody over yourself. What do? Astaghfirullah, you see in Ramadan, the holiest of months, you see some smashed up kebab, right? And you go, brother, take that. Well, you didn't even want to eat it yourself. What sort of a... And then there's another hadith. Once Aisha radiyallahu got some really poor quality food. And she goes, Ya Rasulullah, shall I give it to the neighbor? And the Prophet ﷺ said, Subhanallah, you want to give something you don't want to eat yourself. Think about that. He goes, Subhanallah, in my family, there's somebody who wants to give something they don't want to eat themselves. Brother, you say as if you're giving a big sacrifice. That's riyah now, brother. You should say at least, brother, I don't like this food. Forgive me, I shouldn't even be offering it here. But please, it's going to go to waste. At least be honest. Why are you giving that holy dawah attitude? Brother, no, please. You made me really happy in your heart. Thank God I got rid of it. Right? But the response is, you haven't got understanding. Right? Give something that you love. Allah Ta'ala will forgive your sins. What else about eating? In Imam Ahmad's Musnad 5-259, Al-Haythami in Majma' al-Zawaid 10-274, is Hasan in Sahih al-Jami number 5392. Our beloved Messenger said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a servant does not love another servant except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous to him. Subhanallah. A servant does not love another servant except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is then generous to him. Look at these unusual hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What does that mean? You love a servant, how? You basically give him what you want yourself. Wish for your others what you wish for yourself. You've unlocked some treasure, divine. What? Allah Ta'ala is going to be generous to you. You love your brother, Allah Ta'ala starts being generous to you. Isn't he generous anyway? There's nobody like him. But he unlocks even more of his generosity because you got that quality. Look at the people who Allah Ta'ala helps in mysterious ways. They have that quality. Allah Ta'ala's promise is, I'm going to be more generous to you. So who's really helping who? You're not benefiting him, he's benefiting you. Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anhu in Nasa'i Sahih Hadith, he was sitting and he was thinking, he was lost in thought. And then he suddenly said, I don't know what's more beloved to me. That I go to fulfill a brother's need, or the brother comes to me and I fulfill his need. So they goes, why is that, Amir al-Mu'mineen? He goes, that is more beloved to me than the whole world full of gold. And then to give it. Hazrat Ali was living, walking, talking Quran. Do you understand that hadith? Now with this session you get a bit of an idea what he's talking about. What did he say? Imagine somebody goes to you, would you like the whole world full of gold, brother? What's some silly question that? Where do I sign, brother? Where's the check? Give it me now. He goes, you want something better than that? What's better than that, brother? See that brother in the corner. Go and help him. You think, oh, that's better than a world full of, you don't understand nothing of your deed. Hazrat Ali goes, more than the both. Then he thought, is it better for me to go to him or him to come to me? Because I'm a bit unsure about that. Because he knew how to get the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one last report. In Tirmidhi is Hasan, Hakim Sahih, Ibn Hibban Sahih, Ibn Khuzaymah Sahih. Targheeb number 2667. Our beloved Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the best companion in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sight is the better of them to his companion. Subhanallah. The best companion in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sight is the better of them to his companion, meaning it's a competition. Which one does Allah Ta'ala love more? Is the one who's more concerned about his brother. You notice, right? We all have affection for each other. Which one has more? He's the one that Allah Ta'ala loves more. Therefore, who was the greatest companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Abu Bakr Siddiq. Why was Abu Bakr Siddiq the best of companions? Look at his CV. He was always there for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet testified himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Sahih Bukhari. He goes, nobody's wealth has benefited me more than the wealth of Abu Bakr. Nobody's company has benefited me more than the company of Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. What was he testifying to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He is the best of my companions because he's serving me. And one report said in Nasa'i Sahih, Abu Bakr burst into tears. He goes, why did you mention that, Ya Rasulullah? In other words, he was hiding it. Why did you mention that? In other words, I'm doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Look at that beautiful hadith, what he said. The Prophet goes, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, three things are most beloved to me. And he mentioned three things, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salat, women, and perfume. But then Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu said, and three things are beloved to me. Taking a look at your beautiful face. Spending my wealth on you. And my daughter is your wife. Everyone is related to the Prophet. The other Khilafah Rashideen didn't relate back to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Think about that. Just looking at the Prophet, he goes, that is the most beloved thing to me. I can't articulate it, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Spending wealth. He's Abu Bakr Siddiq. Do you think he knows the Shariat? Right? He helped the Prophet more than anybody. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And what did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say? The best companion in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the better of them to his companion. And what did the final beloved messenger say about Abu Bakr Siddiq? He's done me so much good. Only Allah Ta'ala can pay him back on the day of resurrection. Think about that. The one who could not say no to anybody. I can't pay him back. How much good did he do? Because Allah Ta'ala will pay him back on my behalf on the day of resurrection. So note these characteristics of this characteristic of pleasing your brother, fulfilling his need, is something which every Muslim should have, unless he's a fruitcake. But people need to know the virtues. People, you ask what's the virtue of fulfilling needs? Oh, it's a good thing. I didn't ask you for philosophy. Astaghfirullah, right? I asked you what's the virtue? No, it's a good, you get a reward. No wonder people are interested in it. Right? Therefore, first realize the value of the deed and always trying to find out how can I please my brother. I want to get that special divine help and protection and gifts that Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger have promised. And this is why the prophets, what did the Prophet say? The best of you are those who bring the most benefit to others. The Barani Hasan Hadith. And who brought the most benefit to others? The prophets. You're in the rank of the elite when you have these qualities. But if you've got nafsi mentality, you're a poor man. Think about that, you're a poor man. So we ask Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us understanding of what's been mentioned and to more importantly apply them in our lives to unlock the endless treasures which have been graciously promised by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. سبحان الله بحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك واعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله